Hello and welcome to Norwood News. Today is Friday, March 28th, and I'm Brian Boudreau. This week on Norwood News, we get an up-close look at some delicious food in the newest living local. Carrie McCarthy previews the month of April at the Norwood Senior Center, but first, the League of Women Voters held its annual Candidates Night here at the Norwood Community Media Studio earlier this week. The 4 Board of Selectmen candidates answered questions posed by the League, which were sent in from residents ahead of the forum. Norwood League of Women Voters Chapter President Sarah Cullen commented on the successful event.
The point of having our candidates night is to give the voters the information that they need in order to make the best decisions for them as they see fit, for the town. We try to keep it very even, very equal, make sure all candidates get the same questions, have the same amount of time to answer, so that everyone gets the information they need to make an informed vote. We got through all the questions we wanted to ask and then some. So I think, there's so much going on in this town right now, and I think we were able to touch on all the major topics of concern that we've been hearing from people who've sent us questions, and we're very pleased to be able to get all the questions out.
If you've driven past the intersection of Prospect and Fulton and Washington Streets lately, you've probably seen the heavy construction. DPW Director Mark Ryan gives an update on this Mass DOT project and what travelers can expect in the spring.
Hi, yes, Mark Ryan here, Director of Public Works. Give you an update of the ongoing construction at the intersection of Route 1A and Prospect Street. This is a traffic signalization project where there were no traffic signals before. New signals are going to be brought in along with pedestrian controls for people to safely cross Washington Street / Route 1A. Prior to this work, this was really an uncontrolled intersection other than some stop signs, high crash rate. So the town initiated this project back in 2008. In the end, the project will provide new traffic signals, new pedestrian controls, activated controls so you can safely cross the street, granite curbing, new sidewalks, and new turn lanes. The project started in calendar year 2024, and we anticipate completion in mid-calendar year 2026. The project is funded by the state. The total contract cost is $8.5 million, and it's managed by Mass Department of Transportation, because ultimately this intersection will be under the control of Mass DOT. The contractor is PGOSO and Sons out of Hyde Park. So some of the work to date, last year in calendar year 2024, they installed a new 12-inch water main on Route 1A / Washington Street. This was on behalf of the town of Norwood to improve fire flows in the area and improve the transmission capacity of the pipes to better service Norwood as in general. They regraded the intersection of Prospect Street and Fulton Ave. They widened Route 1A adjacent to the MBTA railroad tracks for additional through lanes. And they also installed the traffic signal control foundations. Presently, work going on here is constructing a retaining wall opposite the MBTA tracks along Route 1A. This is a very involved process, has been ongoing through most of the winter and will continue on through the spring. You'll see new drainage structures going in. You'll see the traffic signal equipment being installed. You'll see new granite curbing going in, new sidewalks going in, and new drainage structures going in. Also, along Route 1A, the state road was built many, many years ago with a cement concrete base. That cement concrete base will be removed and new asphalt will be installed in its place. Ultimately, when this project is done in 2026, it'll be so much safer for vehicles trying to exit out of Washington Street and Prospect Street and provide much needed pedestrian access control to get across Route 1A, especially since there are 2 MBTA bus stops right here. So vast improvements to the area, safety driven. We look forward to the work being completed. We know there's disruption going on right now, but in the end, this will be a much better intersection for everyone to take advantage of into the foreseeable future.
When Norwood News returns, Keeks tries a delicious treat at Lewis's, Sophia Berardinelli shares what's happening in Norwood school news, and Ron Marshalsea previews the first NCM Spring Sports broadcast.
Dancing with the Norwood Stars is returning to the Tiffany Ballroom at 4 Points for the 2025 edition of this iconic show. George Yusevich and Tim McDonough will once again host, and dancers Sean Barnacle, Amanda Groh, Dave Camposano, Maddie Rice, Shelby Dolliner, and Derek Field will give it their all to be the one to walk away with the coveted Disco Ball Trophy. Tune into the NCM Community Channel Friday, April 18th at 8 o'clock to catch Dancing with the Norwood Stars 2025.
The Norwood Senior Center continues to be a standout partner for Norwood Community Media, and we're excited to share all the amazing events coming your way this April. Director Kerry McCarthy gives us the scoop on what's happening in the month ahead.
Hello everyone, Kerry McCarthy here, the director of the Norwood Senior Center. I am here today to give you an update of all the fun and exciting things we're having during the month of April. On Monday, April 7th, AAA of Westwood will be here discussing the Real ID. That deadline is coming up, so come and learn about all the documents you need to get the Real ID. And then on Friday, April 11th, Anthony Samarco returns, and he's going to talk about his book, Wednesday is Prince Spaghetti Day. We have a visit from the Norfolk County Sheriff on Monday, April 14th at 1 o'clock, and he is going to come talk about all the different programs relative to seniors, and you should definitely come and learn about the great programs that the Norfolk Sheriff has to offer all of you. And then we're going to have a lunch and learn with Norwood Housing Authority on Tuesday, April 22nd at 11:30 a.m. We have our usual spring floral workshop, card making classes. We have a new yoga class starting on April 1st. It's a chair yoga with Grant. That'll be on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. And then to end the month, we are going to have Johnny Peasy here for a comedy show and a pizza luncheon. So sign up for all our events and let us know if you need anything. Thank you.
On this week's Living Local, we head to Washington No. 7, a brand new restaurant packed with rich history. Located at 175 Railroad Avenue, Washington No. 7 brings a fresh dining experience while honoring the past. Let's take a closer look at what makes this new spot so special.
So my name's Chanel Ganem, and I'm the owner here at Washington No. 7 Public House here in Norwood. So I'm Lebanese, and I love food. We love food. It's like the most important thing that we know. The hospitality for us is number one. We love to please everyone with like how we cook and food and meals and gatherings. So this just made sense to us.
Chanel envisioned a warm and inviting space where everyone could feel right at home.
And that was one of the biggest challenges that we had before opening, to figure out, how can we be different? How can I be able to provide something, not provide something, but, a space for a community here that's different from everyone else. And I think we narrowed it down by having 3 different sections. So you have the bar section, you have the lounge area, which we're sitting in right now, and then you have the dining. So there's a space for everybody, all ages. Everybody always calls this their living room. So every time someone sits down, they never want to get up because it's so relaxing. You just sit back, have a drink, chatting with your family or friends, and so you get like a little bit of home while you're coming over to my restaurant.
Washington No. 7 has a unique history behind its name and the decor that fills the restaurant.
In 1872, this wasn't actually considered Norwood. It was considered South Dedham, and there was a firehouse that was called Washington No. 7, and that was like the hangout spot here at the time. And it has so much history behind it, and not only being in like a historical building in itself, even before the Chamois, I wanted to bring a lot of history back into this building because everyone who is from Norwood knows that the more historical and the more history you bring to something, the more people appreciate it. And that's something, also being a Norwood local, I wanted to bring to the restaurant. So the wallpaper, it took a while to us to get because it is customized, but it has a fire hydrant on it. It has a old you know, when you're an old paying meter, and I also have a very unique antique fire hydrant here from way back in the day. And so it's just important that I brought that into our restaurant to welcome the firefighters and the police officers. And we have an old original map of Norwood in our dining room, and everyone loves to come and take pictures and look at it because it's the original map of Norwood. And I have a picture over on our wall in the bar area of the old firehouse that had Washington No. 7 on it.
Following in the footsteps of a well-known longtime Norwood business, Chanel wanted Washington No. 7 to stand out and create its own unique legacy.
It was challenging, but I knew, like, it took us a year and a half to get this place opened, and the reason why is because we envisioned something, and to see it now come to life is crazy because sometimes you can never put on paper what you envision, you know what I mean? It sometimes never comes out the way you expected, but this 100% exceeded all of my expectations, not only for me, but also, you know, for Tony and my uncle and even our family members. Envisioning this and now seeing it to life is so surreal. That bar, actually, we have recycled it. That is original from the old Shamrock. It was a horseshoe bar to begin with, but I wanted to expand the space to allow more people to come in. And so what we did was cut off the one side of it and move it back. It was in the middle of the restaurant. So by pushing it back, it made it way more available to host more people. And actually, those bar stools over there are original as well. It's great quality, you know. The only thing we changed about it was reupholstering the top of it.
Washington No. 7 has been warmly embraced by the Norwood community, who constantly step up to support their own.
Awesome, like we've gotten such good feedback, and the volume from the surrounding towns as well, not just Norwood, has been amazing. People are loving it, and you know, I love listening to like their stories. They always sit down with me and they're like, you know, I'm just reminiscing of the times where I used to come to the chamois, and now I'm coming, I feel like, to a whole nother world. And they start getting a little emotional when they talk to me about it because of how much time they spent at the chamois, and now they're coming to something that's totally different with a new concept and new face. Everyone's loving it, so that really makes us feel great too, because none of this would have been possible if it wasn't for everyone.
Washington No. 7 not only offers food, it has live entertainment available as well as broadcasted a wide variety of sporting events.
So we do have an entertainment license here, and we've already had a DJ, we've had live music, so that's a trend that we're hoping to continue on, is live music every Friday. Trivia night, karaoke. I've already had a baptism here. A lot of people go online and send us inquiries through our website, and I've gotten inquiries for baby showers and bridal showers, so private events is definitely something that we also do here.
To learn more about Washington No. 7, visit their website or social media channels.
With the annual town election just around the corner, here's some information about what you can expect on this year's town election ballot. The town election is April 7th. Here's a quick look at what you'll see on the ballot. There are only 2 contested races this year. 4 residents are running for selectmen with only 2 seats available. Bob Donnelly, Cheryl Doyle, Amanda Grow, and Steve Konecny. Donnelly and Grow are the incumbents. The other contested race is the Board of Health with only 1 seat available. Carolyn Riccardi is the incumbent and will be running against Catherine Unger Peer. And here's a look at the unopposed races. Speaking of elections, here's a reminder on the mail-in voting process from the town clerk's office. Anyone who wishes to vote by mail must complete an application. There are applications available around the town, including the library, senior center, civic center, town hall, and light department. The application is also available on the town website, or residents can call the town clerk's office and request an application to be mailed to them. The deadline to apply for a vote-by-mail ballot is Monday, March 31st, 2025. No application will be accepted after that date. All ballots must be returned to Town Hall on or before Monday, April 7th, 2025 by 8 p.m. Ballots can be dropped in drop boxes at Town Hall, the brown box in front of Town Hall, and the blue box in the back parking lot. Deadline for voter registration is Friday, March 28th, 2025, 5 p.m. Any questions, call the town clerk's office at 781-762-1240. Now, let's throw it over to Sophia Berardinelli for the latest in school news.
I'm Sophia Berardinelli, and let's check out what's happening in our Norwood schools. In Norwood High School news, this week was Student Town Government Day, and students spent time with town administrators and town department heads. Then they met in Memorial Hall and participated in a town meeting with real money. Senior Jason Della Carpini was town manager for the day, and it was a great learning experience for him and his classmates.
Today I learned that the general manager really does a lot for the town. They oversee a lot of projects, budgets, and really everything to do with the town, and they're a lot more involved than you may think. I think my classmates learned really what local government looks like on a day-to-day scale. So they got really a perspective of all the little details that go into running a town and all the processes on a day-to-day basis.
After much debate in Memorial Hall, the final result was $200 for free lunches for seniors, $500 for a new selectman board, $200 to a lifeguard fund, $700 to Veterans Relief Fund, $300 to the 4th of July parade, $700 to the Warmth Fund, and $400 will be saved for next year. Later that evening, the Student School Committee met in the school committee and held a meeting that was broadcasted live on NCM right before the regularly scheduled school committee meeting. Special thanks to NHS Social Studies Department Chair Jen Orlinsky and all the town leaders for continuing this long tradition at Norwood High School. The Balch School hosted 14 guest readers this March to celebrate Read Across America. Guests included Superintendent Dr. Tim Luff, Assistant Superintendent J.J. Munoz, Balch Principal Diane Ferreira, and NPS technology experts, Norwood Police and Fire, as well as retired Balch teacher Mrs. Patty Wheeler, and a few surprise readers. Librarian Christine Duffy would like to thank all who came and shared a story with the Balch students. She also thanks the Balch staff for their flexibility and has enjoyed organizing this enriching community for the past 5 years. This helps the students learn the importance of taking the time to read. At the Callahan School, here are some examples of cooperative learning, where students work in small groups to achieve shared learning goals. In fine arts news, the Friends of Visual Arts Norwood's Youth Art Month benefit is an annual fundraiser to support scholarships for art students and visual arts programs. FOVA Norwood is a community group dedicated to preserving and promoting the visual arts in the Norwood Public Schools. This event highlights artwork from each of the Norwood Public Schools. This event celebrated art making and students in a gallery setting with amazing music provided by the Norwood High School Celtic Strings. Last week, the Prescott School hosted its monthly Character Strong Assembly to highlight the students of the month for March for the character trait of honesty. Honesty means being true in the things you say and do. Congratulations to the students of the month for exemplifying honesty. From grade 1, Trisha, Neela, and Frankie. Grade 2, Devansh, Shamel, and Sale. Grade 3, Elena, Anchika, and grade 4, Ella, Lily, Aiden, and Anthony. Grade 5, Empress and Sarah. Next up, students learned about the new character trait of the month for April, cooperation. Stay tuned for next month for our new student of the month. The kindergarten students at the Willett Early Childhood Center are continuing to read their way across America. This week's stop was in Nashville, Tennessee. Students were invited to dress in their finest Western gear. There was some fun line dancing, and they even read a book, Billy the Kid Makes It Big, written by Nashville superstar Dolly Parton. They're on their way to sunny Florida next. That wraps up this week's school news. A big thank you to all teachers who keep us in the loop with their updates. It really helps us see the wonderful things happening in our schools. Reporting for Norwood School News, I'm Sophia Berardinelli. And now, here's Ron Marshalsea with the latest in sports.
I'm Ron Marshalsea, and this is your Sports Update. NCM is looking forward to our very first sports broadcast of the spring when we go live from the NHS backfield with boys lacrosse. We got the team themselves to let us know when and where you can watch their home opener.
What's up? We're the 2025 boys lacrosse team Mustangs. Tuesday's our home opener against Holliston, 4:30. Be there. If you can't, still show your support. The NCM live with Mark Hoover and Joe Pinola. Be there. Let's go.
NCM will also be covering the baseball team's game at Severian next Thursday at 4. This game will not be live, but it will be recorded for future broadcast. If this game is anything like the extra inning walk-off last year, we're in for a good matchup, so be sure to stay tuned to the NCM community channel the following week. And that is all I have for this sports update. I'm Ron Marshalsea, and Norwood News will be right back after this break. Lights, camera, summer. Norwood Community Media's Summer Video Workshop is returning on July 14th through the 17th and the 21st through the 24th from 9 a.m. to noon. The first week is filled up, so make sure to sign up for the second week, July 21st to the 24th. Learn about the studio at Norwood High School and everything that goes into a broadcast production. Get behind or in front of the camera, direct the show in the control room, or just enhance your creativity. Register now for Lights Camera Summer by emailing Megan at norwoodcommunitymedia.org.
It was a jam-packed week for the Board of Selectmen this week. The Norwood Light Department presented its FY 2026 budget, coming in just over $62.6 million. This is about a $120,000 decrease over last year's request. Light Department Superintendent Kevin Shaughnessy credits the decrease to some debt that's coming off the books in '26. Sarah Dixon, Patty Fanning, Clayton Cheever, and the Norwood Anti-Scam Task Force also appeared before the Board of Selectmen. Later in that meeting, Town Manager Tony Mazzucco presented the FY '26 water and sewer budget to the board.
Just to call out a couple of items, I know a few questions I got from board members. Some of this is new to some of you. That line, that it's both an expense line and a revenue line. It says Sharon Emergency Water Interconnection. 6 or 7 years ago, we signed a deal with the town of Sharon to allow them to have an emergency interconnection to our water system. The requisite work for them to achieve that was about $1.5 million. Is what the DPW identified. So we borrowed the $1.5 million to do the work. The town of Sharon pays us back annually. I actually think we make a little bit of money on it, given the overall expense, but they pay that to us to cover the cost of that, and then a little bit which we get on top of that. And you'll know there's also an item in there for a high-strength charge. That's both a revenue and it's an expense in the general cost. The MWRA charges us that high-strength charge. We have one client in town that is a high discharge client. So it appears as a revenue, they pay a separate charge for that, but there's an expense for it as well. And then you'll notice that we're finally able to book a little bit of investment revenue consistent with where the market has gone now that we have a segregated fund. The fund balance is still obviously a concern, as it always will be, but earlier with Light, when you heard about a year out from when we approved some interfund borrowing, that might be something we can do down the road, but this segregation of our accounting practices to meet best practices has so far been helpful in the broadband and electric side, and it'll eventually get there on the water side. But there are no other changes significant other than adjusting for debt service for projects approved this past November and our annual increase from the MWRA.
Questions from the board? Oh, you can go. Mr. Plasko.
Thank you. Am I missing it, or do we not calculate in any kind of a reserve? We're trying to build up reserves. We only hope at the end of the year there's a profit and that becomes a reserve. Are we actually trying to budget some and put it in there?
Sure, two answers to that question. First of all, we always hope, even when we budget it, it's always hopeful. It's the last item we would take in, because remember that, and I'll show you the line in just a minute to get to the quick answer. Remember that we project what we're gonna sell, if you will, and we project what we're gonna take in, and the weather has a significant impact of that. So we could say, hey, we our expenses are generally fixed. We think we're going to spend $25 million this year. We know we need to take in a little bit more than $25 million to make sure we balance. We could very well take in $22 million. We could take in $29 million, and that sounds like a really good year, and then the following year, the rates start to go through the roof. If you look at the bottom line under total O&M, it says fund balance contribution. That's
Page
the,
you on?
oh, thank you.
Right here. Oh, okay.
And it's important to note that without a healthy fund balance in the water sewer fund, if we run a year where we run into the red, that money has to get made up somewhere. We don't carry a loss on our books, we don't carry negativity on our books. That number would come out of really free cash is how you close a deficit. You can't do that until you set your tax rate. So if we're off 10%, which is likely, that could be $2 million or $2.5 million. That would come right out of our free cash of the following year. In past years, we just absorbed those losses and we would absorb a gain when we got it. But it's one of the reasons that we had very bad free cash numbers for a long time. And it's bad financial practice and it's bad financial accounting. We never want to raise rates more than we need to. But on the other hand, not managing our system in a financially feasible way is the worst possible thing for ratepayers. And remember, ratepayer, taxpayer, we will always have to cover these costs. So it's about making sure we cover them as equitably as possible.
The Selectmen unanimously approved the water and sewer budget. The Selectmen will meet again on April 8th. The school committee met Wednesday night at the Savage Center, but before their meeting, 4 NHS students held a mock school committee meeting discussing the impact of AI on students. At 7 o'clock, the meeting began with one public comment discussing the Latin program, followed by 2 appearances. Fine Arts Director Jeff Kerr recognized some recent fine arts achievements, and the Student Advisory Committee presented their quarterly report. After thanking the students who participated in Student Government Day, Superintendent Luff appointed an interim director of student services.
As you know, we have engaged in a search for our next director of student services beginning July 1. That search process resulted in 2 finalists coming for visits in the school district, actually 3 coming for visits and interviews. One actually removing herself from candidacy in the end. But 2 final candidates kind of did forums with the community. They were great candidates. I think they were incredibly qualified. I think each of them could have done the role well. But there was a caution from the community about wanting someone who had more than middle school experience, and both candidates were very focused in the middle school. So ultimately, I decided to discontinue the search, and I am happy tonight, however, to request that you appoint Ms. Catherine Davey as an interim director of student services beginning July 1, 2025. Kate is here tonight to speak with you a little bit, make some comments, I hope. But I just want to say that having somebody with a district-wide experience, someone who knows Norwood, I think is a really great way to take all the wonderful things that are happening and continue them, but also take those things in the audit that are coming out and really help us game plan for next year. So happy to have Kate come up and talk to you.
I was formerly a task teacher at the Callahan School years ago. I have just started my 7th year as Assistant Director of Special Education. I did 3 of those at TECA, and this is beginning my 4th year in Norwood. With this amazing student services staff and all of my colleagues at the Savage. I'm really excited about this opportunity. I'm excited that Superintendent Luff has the confidence. I've been blessed with a lot of kind, generous comments over the last couple months of this process of their confidence, my student services department, my fellow colleagues, central admin. The facilitators, the team chairs, everybody giving me a lot of kind words over my abilities to do this position. So I'm excited to be here tonight to talk to you and hopefully get approved.
The committee unanimously approved this interim appointment. Next, they cast a final vote on the FY26 budget, which passed with the unanimous approval. The meeting then moved on to the superintendent's evaluation, followed by a report from the policy subcommittee. After setting goals for the superintendent and finalizing the school committee member handbook, the committee took a moment to recognize Kate Sibington for her service, as this marked her final meeting as a member of the Norwood School Committee.
It has been wonderful working with you these last 3 years. When I worked with you on policy subcommittee, your drive and your passion for the students and just the community in general is unparalleled. You really do care quite a lot. You're passionate, even when you're exhausted and you're starting to lose your focus. It's, you've always got a great point and a great attitude and just a really well-rounded way of looking at all the problems and trying to solve them. And I really do appreciate the 3 years that you've put into the board.
Kate, thank you. It's been wonderful to get to know you. And from when you started to now, I feel like I have a new friend, which is wonderful. And I know we've worked a lot together. And you are a wonderful balance. You are incredibly focused, yet something that I struggle with at times is centered and even keeled is the word I'm looking for. And it's been a pleasure to work with you. Enjoy all of your free time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, David. So Kate and I are seat buddies because we are on the same election cycle. So Kate and I actually knew each other even before school committee. We go to the same church, and I remember getting a phone call being like, "Hey, I think I'm going to run for school committee. Can you come to this driveway where I'm having people sign papers?" And it was like, wasn't it like 2 or 3 days before?
Yeah, it was
It was really soon. So I have really enjoyed my time with you in school committee and greatly appreciate that. And I'm sad that I'm losing you as my seat buddy and on the policy subcommittee. But now that you're no longer a school committee member, we can bug you to start an education fund. So you're not getting away, and we will still be bothering you to make a strong commitment to Norwood education.
No, I just echo everything, Kate. I mean, you came in, and I remember you campaigned on communication and transparency, and I think from day one you reminded us to always communicate and be transparent, and you've always brought the community's concerns to the table, and you listen. You're compassionate, you're kind. I think our administration has always found that you are supportive of them and elevated their voices. But to the points everybody's making, your work on policy, thank you. The elementary study, you jumped in when we needed leadership, so thank you. The superintendent search, the superintendent evaluation, and goal setting this past year, none of that is easy, and I appreciate it. And I have no doubt you will continue to make impact because you were making impact in our town before, and I know you'll continue to do so.
I just want to thank everybody in the room. I didn't make a speech, but I just made notes because, as we all know, after 9 o'clock, I start to lose coherence. It's been my privilege to serve with you all, my colleagues, and then also it's been my humble privilege to have a glimpse into the world of education and education professionals and what it is that you face and deal with, and the challenges put in front of you, and despite that, the dedication and the fortitude that you move forward with. It's incredible. So again, I thank everyone, and I will start rambling, so I'm not going to do that. Thank you, everybody, and it's been my pleasure, and I won't be going away. I will be a parent and a community supporter, and I'm there if you need me. So, thanks.
And can we please get her name on the wall?
Never here.
The next school committee meeting will be on April 9th. The Community Preservation Committee opened its meeting by paying tribute to Patty Griffin Starr. Starr was a member of the CPC who recently passed away unexpectedly.
I'm one of the newer members to join, and I just found her to be so accommodating and helpful and meeting with me to sort of show me the ropes. She had such high energy. She loved this town so much, and her spirit was infectious. So I'll just leave it with that. So does anybody want to add anything, or John?
She was also an ideal teammate on this committee. She didn't talk a lot, but when she talked, everybody wanted to listen because what she had to say was new, and it was pertinent, and it was a contribution. And that was in addition to representing her designated area of housing. She will be very difficult to replace.
I agree. Would anybody else like to add anything?
I just want to say that I've known her for many, many years. Back in college, we actually worked at the same place. And she was terrific then, and she's been terrific all the way through. I've known her so long. And she's been so important to this town. and on her board, the Housing Authority, very dedicated to that, and very dedicated to what she's done here. And the whole town, I never seen such a wake. The whole town turned out. It was incredible.
No surprise, right?
Yeah.
Cheryl?
Yeah. I've known Patty a long time because she worked at Thome Early Intervention, and I don't think I've ever seen her being down at all. She always smiled, always willing to help people, always, you know. So when she came on this board, I thought it was great that she was here because she has such a great positive attitude, and she will be missed in this town, and it's going to be a huge hole to fill because of how active she was in the town, the church, in special needs, everything, just across the board. She was an outstanding human being and very compassionate.
She was a mentor, she was a role model. At least I looked up to her and said, what else can I do? And I usually learned something from Patty and what she was up to.
And she's just been a good role model as a mom, as a civic engaged citizen. It was just great to know her. So.
Great. That's great.
After some reflection, the CPC reviews several draft documents including sign designs for park projects and a grant agreement for the Washington Heights roof replacement. The CPC will meet again on April 9th. This week, the Planning Board met with a representative from Moderna for a site plan review, which was approved by the Board. Following that, the Board held a public hearing on 4 zoning amendments proposed for the town meeting warrant. Zoning amendments for the floodplain overlay district and the accessory dwelling units were continued to their next meeting on April 14th to allow for new information and definitions to be added. Non-conforming single and two-family residential structures and kennels in the MBTA zoning communities multifamily overlay district were motioned for recommendation to town meeting. There's no better way to end the day than with a sweet treat, so it's only right we end Norwood News the same way. Kiki heads down to Lewis's Bar and Grill to try out a simple yet unique dessert pizza with special guest Brian Gagliard on her newest episode of Sweet Treats with Keeks.
Hey guys, welcome back to Sweet Treats with Keeks. There's word on the street that Lewis's has a Nutella pizza. It's not even on the dessert menu, it's on the actual pizza bar menu. So I'm gonna go test that out right now. Hey guys, so I am sitting here at the pizza bar in Lewis's. This is actually a new addition to the restaurant. It's actually really beautiful. But I also have a special guest with me today. He works at Lewis's part-time, so you may see him once in a while. Brian Gagliard, come on in. Come on in.
What's going on?
How we doing? How we doing?
Hello, everyone.
This is first time on Norwood News, so we're really excited about this. And Brian has a little bit of an in on what this pizza consists of. Have you ever made the Nutella pizza? Okay. Is it a classic? Like people get it a lot, or? All right. Can I do one of those, please? An order of Nutella pizza.
There you go. Here we go. All right, Kiki. Do you want to see how the pizza's made?
Let's take a look, Brian.
All right.
We're here with Raul. Sorry about that. And he's preparing the dough. I've actually never seen this go down like this.
Yeah. So this is a 14-inch. We do 14-inch pizzas here.
Yep.
And then, so it doesn't rise in the oven because we don't put any toppings on until it actually comes out of the oven.
Interesting.
So we dock it. So when it goes in the oven, it doesn't rise. So then it comes out of the oven, we put the Nutella sauce on it.
Yep.
And then with the bananas, we slice and fry off the bananas, and we carefully place them on with cinnamon sugar. And then, none other, this is my favorite part, our homemade cannoli ricotta sauce.
Oh, yep.
Which is
I heard about
amazing as
that.
a dipping. It's tremendous, you'll have it. And then, to top it off, a little powdered sugar.
We just got our pizza here. This smells like something my grandmother used to make me. It's like a very heartwarming smell.
Yeah,
Don't you agree?
It's definitely.
All right, Brian, let's cheers to this.
Good, right?
Wow. It almost reminds me of like a crepe.
A what?
You ever had a crepe before?
No.
Oh my God. That's delicious.
Try it with that.
Now we're gonna crepe. It tastes like a crepe. Okay.
Try it with that. This is where it gets good.
So this here is like a ricotta, sorry, Megan, cannoli dip.
It's a cannoli ricotta, yeah.
Okay.
Homemade.
So let's dip this in here, Brian.
All right.
Sorry, we'll double dip, but it's all right.
Try the banana too.
Yes. I think this has to be top sweet treats with Keeks. This is something that you really can't find anywhere else. This is. Give me a minute.
Try the crust. That's my favorite part.
All right.
Right back here.
Get another dip.
One
With that.
dip, no flop. Yeah, that's a sweet spot. Sweet spot with Keeks, everybody.
You know it. You know it. Wow.
What would you rate it on a scale of 1 through 10? This is where we're doing ratings now.
I have to give it a solid 9. 9.
We like a good 9.
Can you tell us a little bit about the bananas? Because this is a new addition, right?
Yeah, so the bananas, when we first came out with it, the bananas weren't on it, so it was just pizza with the powdered sugar on top.
Yep.
And then when we added the bananas, so the bananas are freshly sliced, but they're also fried off. So the outer part is completely fried off, and then so they're just completely sliced, perfect normal, and it gives that kind of like the crisp, but also the coldness that you want to make it sweet treat.
And that's spot on right there. Spot on. Yeah, if you're looking for a nice sweet treat, definitely come down to Lewis's. You might see Brian here as well. All in all, rating it a 9. What are you gonna rate it? I mean, you're kind of biased.
I love this pizza. On a sweet treat level, I'd say probably like a 9.4.
Okay.
Definitely a 9.4.
All right. Well, Brian, thanks so much for being a part of this. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah, this one's a big wait, so I'm glad I could finally join the sweet treat.
So thanks, Brian.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in, and make sure to stay tuned for the next episode of Sweet Treats with Keeks.
Well, that's all for Norwood News. To stay up to date with Norwood Community Media, give us a follow on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. As always, thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend.